Good morning. It is Monday morning. There's snow on the ground. We've just done the cycle to school. It's like walk and cycle to school for the next 2 weeks. I've been snacking. Grandpa's got a cup of coffee. He's going to have that, and then we're going to go and tackle the pantry. We're going to wait to put the ropes in. I did the final coat of varnish last night before I went to my bed, so it's dry and ready to go. And then we're going to get fitting the shelves, and I've got everything laid out. It's still a total mess, but I've got everything laid out for going back in. So that is the plan today. The sun is shining though, it's just lovely, even though it's got snow on the ground. But we're going to tackle this because this week, I'm going to finish this week. Got to get back to normal before the holidays. Can't believe it's only a week until the Easter holidays and then the children are off for 2 weeks. I just can't believe where the time has disappeared to. So I've got these little wooden boxes that I've had since we moved in really. So like 10 years ago that I got from Dunelm. So they're old, but I'm not a fan of this get organised bits and bobs and keep tidy. I like the wooden, hello you can get up, come over to see me, hi. I like the corners having the antique sort of look and this, but what I'm going to do, I've got 2 of these and I've tested it out with this one. So what I've done is I've rubbed off the creep clear. You can tell obviously that bit's been rubbed more than the rest, but I've rubbed the rest of it as well just to make it less dirty. It's kind of got like a dirty look. They've tried to age it obviously. So sorry, he's trying to come in to say hello. But what I've done is I've just taken off that and then screwed on one of my nameplates, and then I can put in what is inside at the top. So I'll have like dishcloths, dish towels, that sort of thing. So I think it looks much nicer. I think it just looks a bit classier than having the get organised bits and bobs and keep tidy. I like how they've done it. Obviously they were looking, had to make it look a little bit more, add a little bit to it, but I prefer it without the writing on it. So I hope you guys do too. Please let me know in the comments below if you do. But I think it just looks a lot classier like that. So I'm going to have 2 of these sets stacked, one above the other, back in the same place at the right hand side when you first go in. I keep the children's old aprons, like when they were really little, when they do my niece and nephew when they come, and they're great as extras. So they get input in one. I've got like sponges in the other, cloths in the other, tea towels in the next one, and then I usually have my dishwasher cleaner and spare washing up liquid in like the bottom one. So I'll maybe rearrange it. And I'll keep the dishcloths and the hand towels and the dishcloths and the tea towels, and the top ones because I use them most of all. But I much prefer it like that. I hope you guys do too. But I think it just looks really nice. They're not a perfect match, obviously. The brass is slightly different, but I still think it looks really good. Dad's currently fitting the rope into the pantry floor, and then I'll get these ready so they'll be ready to go in when he finishes. So what I used for the last one just to test it out is these Magic Eraser white sponges. It ruins it obviously because you're taking off a lot of the colour. And then these multitask wipes. So I've been rubbing it with this to sort of loosen it and then going in with this. I've slightly dampened this so it's been under the water and then squeezed. So it's got a little bit of moisture but not too much. And then I'm just going to rub over and eventually take that off and then rub some of this other bits off as well just to make it a little less obvious that I've been quite harsh on this top bit. So I've only got 6 to do. 1 down, 5 more to go.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.
So we had to remove 2 strands from this one because it's so narrow. This is the normal. Is this a normal size, Dad, or did we remove one for this one?
It's normal size.
It's normal size, and this is normal size as well. And Dad's wedged it in perfectly flush, which is great. And he's on to the next one, which I'm bothering him with while I'm filming. But he's putting glue in the gap and then wedging this in all the way along. But it looks really good. Just finishes it off, doesn't it? It stops all the dirt going in. Obviously it'll still get little bits of dirt in it, but it just makes it a little bit neater, a bit nicer. I love the natural floorboards. I just love all the character. I mean, look at all this. I just love that from years and 144 years worth of use. I just love that. All the little notches in it, just great. Just dry fit it just now, but how nice does that look? It looks so good, Dad.
I know I like the white against the wood.
I like the white against the wood. I love that contrast. It looks so clean. It won't stay clean, obviously, so I'll use it. But we put a middle partition in this one so that we can fit 2 big boxes and 2 big boxes. And then the next shelf, because I've got 5 boxes, we've put a support here and here, sort of spreading the weight. So it'll actually work out really nicely just to be able to work it out. Custom built. We did have brackets to use for these supports, but because they're getting the directional force down the way and they fit perfectly, we've just opted for wood glue to hold it on the floor and hold it against the shelf. And because the weight of everything that's going to be on top, all the boxes and everything, because of the weight of all the boxes on top, I'll push down on the shelf and they won't move. So the only thing would knock them would be if I bash them with the boxes. But because of them being pressed down, I think it'll be fine. So we put wood glue on the floor. I say we. Dad has put wood glue on the floor, the royal we. And then we're going to put the first shelf in. Oh, it's exciting. He's okay. He's okay. He hasn't collapsed. He's okay. This way.
Good.
This way. Come on.
Good to
Come on.
Grandpa up. If Grandpa
Come on, this way. Evie. Evie, here.
Could you phone 999, Evie? Could you phone 999? Grandpa's collapsed.
Grandpa's got a helper today. She was bothering him just because she thought something was wrong. But now she knows he's not, there's nothing wrong. She's lying on top of it. Are you lying on top of Grandpa? How's Bobby Ray supposed to do his jobs? Good kiddo.
Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope.
Use of this old small packaging. I made a little template so we can figure out where to put the labels. So we've done the big jars already. They're looking really good. And Mum's now rearranged it. I'm getting a lot of help from Grandma to rearrange it to be the different size now for the smaller jars. And then we've got 10 of them to do. So we're going to get going with that. And then we can start filling it, which is the fun part. And then we can get them into the pantry, which will be good. Grandma's holding it while I try and do this, so we've got it sort of positioned. I'm looking through the viewfinder, shouldn't be. I should be looking at the actual jar. So we line it up with there. We've got a little bit open with the stickiness, and then I can line it and then check before I stick the whole lot down. I'm just going to double check it looks pretty square, which I think it does. So then I peel out the back and then slide it across. So now we've just got 10 more of them to do. I won't put it on time lapse because it's pretty much that. Speed it up. But we've got 10 of them. So let's get going.
You fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away. Standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere. Maybe there is a star with your name. One thing I know is that there should be. There is no one who has a heart as pure, no, not like yours. Dreaming of you. Dreaming of you. Dreaming of you. Dreaming of you. Dreaming of you.
Hello, Easter Bunny!
I'm dreaming of you.
For both of you.
What if the world
Good afternoon. So, I have a confession to make, and the last video you saw there was Easter last year, and It is now Good Friday tomorrow, 2024, and that was Easter 2023. It has been a full year since I started the pantry renovation. It didn't take a full year, although it feels like it. We finished for Easter. We had Easter holidays. And what you don't know is that I don't tell you when Steve, so my husband Steve, with his work, goes away maybe 1 or 2 times a year. The rest of the time he is here. But he goes away a couple of times a year for work. And at that point, he had been away, and I think that was the trip. I'm pretty sure that was a trip that was 7 weeks long, and I was just burnt out. I did the pantry, we had Easter, I was hosting. It was just a lot. And then as soon as Easter finished, Steve came home on the Sunday. No, came home on the Friday at the end of the Easter holidays. I think this is right. I might have the days wrong. It doesn't really matter, really. But he basically came home on the Saturday, for example. No, tell you what happened. No, I know exactly what happened. Right? He came home on the Thursday at the end of the holidays. And every year we do a Barclay gathering, which is my mum's side of the family, which is my mum's maiden name, where Barclay gets his name. We do a Barclay gathering, which is my aunties and uncles, and all the cousins, and then all their children. So Bartley and Gracie, so my cousins and all their children. And it's wonderful. Our children love it. We do an Easter egg hunt. They thoroughly enjoy it. We're doing it in the summer this year, not at Easter. But we usually have it at Easter time. And we left to go down the road on the Saturday. So Steve came home on the Thursday night, late on, after about 7 weeks away, a long time away. And then, poor thing, we didn't go down the Friday night because he needed like a day to unpack, repack, get some sleep. And then we travelled down the road to my auntie and uncle's house in Comrie, and we stayed there on the Saturday night and the Sunday night and had our Barclay gathering on the Saturday. Or was it the Sunday? On the Sunday, a bit of both, I think. And then on the Monday morning, we packed up again and then travelled to Paris. So travelled from Comrie to Edinburgh and then went to Paris. Now that vlog is done. The Paris vlog is complete, but it's taken me a year to do it. And I think I was just totally burnt out. And I think I just needed time to decompress. And I just physically couldn't, put it this way, there was, for Paris alone, now we did Paris and Disneyland, Paris. And for Paris, which was 3 days or something like that, I had 3 hours of footage. I've cut that down for the family vlog down to 2 hours, and I wish I could share some of the funny bits with the children. We had such a laugh, and they're at the perfect age. At that point, they were 10 and 8, and they were just at a wonderful age where we could spend time with them, we could socialise. It was just lovely, really lovely, brilliant holiday. But I hope that you'll be able to get a bit of an idea of what it was like from the vlog, which I cut down from 2 hours down to 45 minutes for the one for going on to YouTube. And I hope you can sort of get a glimpse into it. I've kept in a couple of little funny bits, but I'm just hoping that you can kind of get the idea of how much fun it was. So that, I've only just finished editing that now. Don't get me wrong, I haven't taken a whole year to do it, but I think it was just the thought of trying to cut it down. I did the family one first, and it was just too much. I think I just gave myself a bit too much and a bit off more than I could chew. Anyway, it is now done and complete, but I realise I can't post it yet until I finish off the pantry. So the reason I think that I didn't, because I got the pantry, everything back in the cupboard before I started hosting Easter. My arm's getting sore. I should have put you down somewhere so that I could speak to you a bit better. I'm swapping hands. So I think the reason was that I got everything back in the cupboard, and then it was pandemonium because it was Easter holidays and hosting and then holiday. And I think when I came back, I was just absolutely shattered, and it took me a while to unpack and get organised after that. And then summer came, and then I think the pantry, the odd jobs I had to finish off in the pantry became less important, and I started using the pantry. Now, there are positives. You know how I like to think that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that the reason that this year break, not really a break, but the year between finishing the pantry and now, I'll be able to tell you the things that are good about it. I'll be able to tell you things that are not so good about it. I have been able to live with it and know how it works. There are a couple of things. I think I'd probably better taking you over to show you. And there's one job that I bought these back a year ago and I haven't fitted them. And that's little downlight things that come on when you activate them. So we're going to do that together. I'm going to do that just now. And then I have actually, what I'm wearing just now, what I'm actually wearing, I looked back to see what I wore I got my mum to film me laying down a jar in the pantry that was empty before I filled it. Got her to film me doing that so that I could then do a reel for Instagram where it like pops to being finished. So this morning I looked back to see what I was wearing. I don't have the slippers anymore because they were completely ruined. Although these ones are as ruined because the dog got hold of the back of them, so they've been a bit chewed. But I don't have the slippers, but I matched everything else. I don't think I put earrings on for the video, I think, because I couldn't tell if I had any on, so I put them on afterwards. But I was wearing this top in the video and this hairband. So I recreated what I was wearing, and Steve filmed me laying down one of the jars this morning so that I can do a reel, which I'm going to hopefully get done when Grace are dancing tonight. And then I'll be ready to post this vlog on Tuesday. Just now it's Thursday. Post it on Tuesday after the Easter weekend, and then the week after I'll be able to get the Paris one. And I still haven't edited the Disneyland one yet, so that's probably going to take a while too. But I will start doing it now. I feel a bit more motivated now I've got the Paris one done. I think that's given me a bit of a push that I needed. Anyway, let me show you the completed pantry. Okay. Are you ready? Let me show you the completed pantry. Let me put the light on. I'm so excited for you to see it. It looks like this. Okay, let me turn you down so you can see it properly. Okay, so this is the best shelf. This is my favourite shelf. So the positives, first of all, let me show you it first, and then I'll tell you the positives and negatives. So I've got all my pastas here, and vermicelli in the back, and then all my ones that I use most of the time in the front. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Yes, the ones I use most of the time are in the front, and then these little ones I actually use more than I realised. And things that I don't use very often are tucked in the back. Now, I did look about raising the ones at the back up, but because of this bit here, the lids hit, so you can't see it anyway. So even if I did raise it a little bit, you couldn't see the labels. So I could have worked that, but really, I quite like the simplicity of it. I do think it would be nice. I might still raise it, but at the moment I'm keeping it like this. And the thing that I'm going to add is under here, you can see I've got some blue tack on for this morning. I did the video with the actual lights in, but I hadn't got them stuck on. So I used blue tack, and I thought I'd taken all the blue tack off. But as you can see, I haven't. So let me take the blue tack off, which is underneath here. And then we're going to do it together. It's literally stick on some magnets, and then the lights magnetized to the magnets, because you can take them off to charge. But I'll show you them after I've shown you this. In the back, I've got my ice and sugar duster. And then all my small jars, so yeast, corn flour, bicarbonate soda, which I use to wash my fruit, which I'm about to do just now, baking powder and vanilla essence. So they're the things I use most of the time in terms of baking. And then all my flours, so semolina I use every Friday night for doing the pizzas, plain flour, castor sugar, self-raising flour, 00 strong white flour, and rice. And then in the back here, I've got risotto rice, which I don't use all the time, and brown rice, which I don't use all the time either. In the back here, I've got ice and sugar, which again I don't use all the time, and brown sugar, which I don't use all the time. And then underneath was going to be the spares for all this initially when I first started doing it, but I realised I didn't have enough room in those to put it in. So the spares for this, I think some of the spares for that are in there, but all the spares for that are up in this one, which is my refill stock of flour and sugar, as you can see by the label. It's kind of ended up being a bit of a mix of all baking sort of things, which is fine, works okay. And then in here is the refill stock for the pasta. Now that works really well because I end up having bags full, and if I'm ending up doing, for example, like a full bowl of pasta, full, like say I'm cooking for 8 people, I've got people around, I'll just take a bag from here rather than emptying one of these jars. I'll just take a bag from there, so it works out really well. In the back of here, that's actually just got candy floss, sugar and everything in it. And then this one, I don't know if you can see, has got tins and jars, so I haven't bothered labelling them. My bowls are all stacked up in there, and my baking things here. Now, I wasn't sure how this is going to work. I've just used a bookshelf divider that was down in the cellar when we moved in. They had these in the shelves down there, and it works really well. These are the main things I use all the time. Anything extra is up in this box. It's usually a bit neater than this, but I've sort of shoved it up here. This is my roasting tin for Easter, which will be disappearing at Easter because I bought it at Christmas. And then I thought, oh, I'm doing a massive lamb roast on Sunday, so I'll use that for it. And then in here, you can see loads more tins and boxes and things. And then in this one, I've kind of half hidden it because it's got the what do you call the ice maker, like ice cones. What do you call them? Snow cone maker. It's got the raclette in there. Oh no, the raclette's in there. Candy floss maker, maybe? Yes, candy floss maker and snow cone. So that's really easy and accessible for getting for the children when they want it, but I don't need it all the time. And then in here is the refill, don't know if you can see the label. Oh, I can't, refill stock for my cereal. So normally what happens is the stool stays here in normal circumstances. Then I've got my recycling. Down here is my recycling for my paper and cardboard, which I didn't realise was going to be so important until we've just received an orange bin, which is only going to take, no, my blue bin is now going to take paper and cardboard, which it used to take everything. And my orange bin is now going to take every other kind of recyclable thing. So that's a bit of a change. Still no glass though. So it doesn't really make much of a difference to us other than having an extra bin, and it's every 3 weeks that will be emptied. So it's a bit of a pest. This is another job. Another reason why I hadn't finished it is this one was outside, which had all my recycling, my plastics and my glass. Remember, I used to go and get 5p at Sainsbury's. They've stopped doing that 5p at Sainsbury's now. So it's just going to be used for my glass rather than plastic as well. So I need to change the label on that, which is another job to be done. Baking, remember I had the baking in the corner here, working really super well because I keep the lid on that one and then the lid on this one, which has like my stock refills, so olive oil, balsamic, vinegar, washing up liquid, dishwasher cleaner, everything else that's like refill things. It is working so well. It never usually has the lid on. Usually it's so piled up that it comes out. But for this purpose, it's got the lid on it. The baking things work so well because I can just pull this out and then take it out. And anything that I really need to get into is right at the front there. So it's fantastic. Works excellently. Works perfectly, which is great. My drawers here are working really well. So remember I scraped off the fronts of it. So we've got aprons in the bottom, which are just like the children's, when they had like the baby aprons. All the other aprons are hanging up here. This is my apron from when I was at secondary school. And then I've got all my other ones in behind, children's ones in there. So they're easy and accessible just on the hooks here. Got the Hoover in the side here, just at the side. And then the rest of the things in here, sponges and gloves, as it says. Tea towels in there, all nicely folded, looking lovely. Don't always look like that. I've also got my usable ones, like my daily ones in there as well. So 2 lots of tea towels. Floor cloths, this one doesn't open very well. So I'm going to have to try and get it sanded down, I think, because it's my floor cloths. But I don't go in there very often because I'm not a big cleaner. If you've followed me for a while, I don't like cleaning. I do like, that's a lie. I do like cleaning. I just don't clean very often. And here's my dishcloths, which is used all the time, all folded up neatly as well. And then my egg storage. So that is in there. And then I've got my glass jars, my steamer, which I use all the time. So these are absolutely ideal. Perfect. Not only that, but the positives. So, sorry, I'll keep going and then I'll tell you the positives. This has got my pineapple coater and my hand chopper in there, and it fits perfectly. This has got my blender and my mixer in it. These are used so often, more often than I thought I would use, and the carving knife is only used at the weekend on a Sunday. It does scratch. I've just actually gone over this with one of those white sponges. It does actually scratch and leave like little bits on it, but I want it to start aging. You know, I don't want it to be perfectly brand new and I want it to start aging, which will be good. It does get a bit dusty because the children like to come in and help themselves in here. So it does end up getting a bit dusty, but that's just from use rather than anything else. Got all my recipe books in here. And then this was up in the baking section. But we ended up using it so often that it was much easier just to leave it in here, which is all the cupcake cases, along with this is all the like baking stuff. And then this is my normal cooking and then things I print off that I want to bake as well. So It is working really well. Positives, right? Positives. Main positive is that everything is labelled. So coconut milk and, you know, chopped tomatoes. In the past, I would have to be the only one that would go in and get stuff. Now the children know that pasta sauces are there. The antipasti is there. So if they're needing olives or sun-dried tomatoes for the pizza night, it's in there. Soup and tuna. You can just go in and get their soup or their tuna. And it's so neatly packed, nice and organised. If I say, oh, can you get some pineapples for the pizza? In here. And they've got jellies and all the sweet things, and that's in that one, which is fruits and desserts. Then I've also got the condiments, so sweet condiments. So if you want jam or to replace the Nutella or the peanut butter, I just say go in and get it from the specific one, and they know where to find it. And the same with not so much the Asian and Mexican. I sort of use it. It's got my noodles and panko breadcrumbs and things like that. And then the tea and coffee, I think I'm going to change the label on that, because I buy my Earl Grey in big, bulky, big boxes. It comes in this, you know, small packs inside, but they're in a big box. They come in a massive 4-pack. So I've ended up keeping it up here in my cereal box. So in here is really just for coffee. But Steve started getting beans on a subscription because he's got a new coffee machine in this past year. So they come every couple of weeks and they just get stored in his little basket that he's got beside the coffee machine. So this would really only be surplus. So I think I'm going to change this to drinks, because I often put the children's cartons of juice. So like this next week, Grace has got a musical theatre camp and she's packed lunch every day. So it's got like juices in there, and yes, it's got some spare coffee and my chamomile tea and stuff. But I don't know, I might change it, I don't know. But, I mean, I kind of know what's in there and the children know what's in there too. But the positives have been that I can just grab my pasta, take it over, start cooking, and it's done. Brilliant, amazing, spaghetti in the back there. The main positive thing is that we have done so much more baking as a family than we've ever done, because the children can almost, and it could just be an age thing with the children, but I don't think so, it's only a year. They can come, get the recipe book. Grace knows that this is a favourite book for making cakes, which is the Hummingbird Bakery one. I use it every year for making the children's birthday cakes. She grabs that, and then she looks at the recipe and she grabs every jar that's needed. Well, I've just realised that label's a lot higher than all the rest. Why is that? I'm aware that's going to totally bother me now. Oh, you know what? When I reprint the labels, I'll reprint that. Because look, it is much higher, isn't it? How have I never noticed that in a whole year? I have never noticed that in the whole year. Or is this one just lower? This one needs replaced anyway, because that's the other negative. I didn't want to spend lots of money on waterproof labels because I knew I would have a lot to do, and I thought I would have some mistakes and it would cost a fortune. So I just use printable labels, but they're paper. Now, for the majority of the things, like the penny and the fusilli, the things I'm not using all the time and things that I'm on the one that's using them, completely fine. And there's absolutely no issue with using those. But I wonder if you can see here. Got a little bit of water on that one. You see it? And the children love to use corn flour to make some, to make oobleck. You know, the corn flour and water where it can be solid when you hit it and soft. But the problem is that we're doing it with food colouring. I don't know, can you see that? Is it going to focus? You see there, just this part, let me put it down, I'll show you. This section here got wet and it got blue food colouring on it. So had I used the waterproof ones, that would have been better. So in hindsight, the amount of work it was to print all of these out, I would 100% spend the time to print out waterproof ones and spend the money after all this work to do waterproof ones. So that's a negative. But the positives are definitely that everyone else can use a pantry and everything's tidy. I know where everything else is. I don't grab something and something else falls out. Don't get me wrong, it's not always as neat and tidy as this. And this maybe isn't neat and tidy to you. Maybe it doesn't look as neat and tidy as what you would imagine it to be. But it has honestly changed the way that we work as a family when it comes to food, and everything's a lot less stress. Everyone knows where the recycling is. It's just a lot easier to manage, and I think it looks beautiful. I think it's pretty. I use this for making like bread, or it's like my mini chopper thing. this electric rather than my hand one, which is in here. So I use that all the time as well. My juicer and other scales. I usually have my weighing scales up here as well, but Steve's got it for the coffee just now, and then just extra jars are just up there for easy grabbing. And honestly, it has been such a game changer. So the last thing to do is to put up under here these lighting things, which are so simple. It's these LED motion sensors. And I got them, it's a 2-pack, and I got it off of Amazon. I'll link it down below, so don't worry. So simple. It literally is sticky 3M sticky stuff. I peel that off, and it's a magnet that just goes on, and it's rechargeable. So they are going to go underneath here, like underneath like that, and then they've got 2 settings: off, obviously, on, or automatic. And the automatic one comes on with this little bit here when you go into the pantry. So it's going to be fantastic. So I don't have to put the big light on every time I want to go in, and it's just going to light up this area. So I'm going to go into that just now quickly, and then pick up the children from school. So I hope you like it. It's taken a whole year, and I hope you have, if you've forgotten what happened at the start, go back and watch the first one first. And I hope that I'll be able to get back into the swing of things, and you'll be back to follow me. And I hope you haven't missed me too much, but thank you for the messages of the people that have sent saying, where are you? I really miss watching you. That really means a lot, because I think I got to the stage where I hadn't been doing it for so long that I then lost my confidence to do it. So I really appreciate it. And I hope that you'll follow me for any other vlogs that I do. And I hope you enjoy Paris vlog as well, which is coming next. I didn't bother putting labels on these. I was going to put labels on these, but these are just like spare things, like all my seeds and berries. But it changes what I have in each of these. So I've just left them plain, and then it means I can put whatever extras and spares I have in there. I just need to peel off, see, they've been sitting in the pantry, look how messy they are. I need to basically peel off the metal plastic protector on there, which is like blue, but it comes off when you scrape it. Comes off like that, and then stick that on. And then roughly, I was going to wait to go measure it, but I can roughly guess where they're going to go, because obviously it's on magnetic things. So I'm going to go and stick them in now, and then that's the job done. Right, I clearly should have read the instructions a bit better, but I just realised this button here alters the brightness of the light, watch. So you can have it at different levels. I'm still going to go for the brightest one, although it does mean that the battery will run out a lot faster, but I can just recharge it. Very cool indeed. Right, let's get these fitted up. Right, so the strips on the back, I've got little circles. So what I've done is I've just sort of roughly pencil marked where those 2 circles would be. I'm going to go and get a measuring tape just to make sure that they're the same depth back. Okay, so measuring tape. I just want to make sure that where I've roughly put these dots is exactly the same as where, so roughly 7. That's a little bit less. So I think it'd be better if they're a bit further back, but would it be? Let me check. So if I put it on, right, so either I have them here or a bit further back would be better, because if I have them further forward, it'll shine down to my boxes as well. Let's turn off this light, because I want to see what it'd be like without a light on. I think further forward, because I don't really need to, it looks nicer having it further back, shining up my glass jars, but I don't really need to see the glass jars. This is more so that I can see in the pantry without having to put lights on. So I think I might just make them further forward. Yeah, I'm going to go quite far forward, about there. Yeah, right there. Right, so turn this off to save the battery. I've lost the charging cable for it as well. Let me put this light back on for you. Okay, so I'm just going to stick them, I can see the 2 circles. I'm just going to stick it a bit further forward. Let's first of all take off the blue label. It comes with an extra few of these pads, so I think if you make a mistake, you've got extra ones. I can't even get it open. Here we go. Right, so I think if I stick that a bit further forward, so I've spent a whole year waiting to do this, and now I'm just doing it gung-ho. It's not really the way I wanted to do it, but never mind. Right, I'm going to go down on my knees. So I can see my 2 marks, and I can see where I wanted them to be. Let me check if those 2 marks are exactly the same distance apart. Roughly 15. is not bad for eye. Oh my word. That is not bad at all. Right, so based on that, they're not far off. So I'm going to put that about there. Okay, that's number 1 on. And then number 2. Oh, I've got to take the blue bits off. Number 2 is there. Looking beautiful. Right, next one. I'll speed this up because you don't really need to see it, do you?
You fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream.
Okay, they're stuck on. Do you want to see? How cool does this look? And you can take them off the charge. How good is that? And then even with the light off, I'll just open my door, go pick up something. Obviously it would come on automatically. It's on just now because I've just activated it. But it looks good, doesn't it? And it gives me enough light to be able to see down here, but it also illuminates that shelf. I could, in theory, I could put them on every single shelf, but that's a bit overkill. This is perfect, and it does the job. So that is the pantry. I want to say complete. I've still got a couple of labels to do, as you know. However, that is the pantry complete. Yay! Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching this saga that's taken a year to get finished. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you think that it's been an improvement. Oh, has it gone off? Watch, you watching? Let me just get something. Oh, it came on at different times. I have to watch when I put it in the hand. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and I hope you agree that this looks much better than the before, which is this. Can you believe that this is what my pantry used to look like? What a mess. And I lived with it like that for 9 years, and it just got worse and worse and worse. I bought these boxes early on when I first moved in, maybe a couple of years after I moved in, but it's taken me that long in order to get it organised in the way I wanted it way back in the beginning. So I hope you like it, and thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you continue to join me for the rest of the whatever other vlogs I do, and I hope you enjoy Paris. But until the next time, let me activate this one more time. Until the next time, love you lots, bye.